All right. So welcome, welcome. If you're new here, I am so glad you came to join us. I hope you find this to be a really good use of your time. If you've been here before, um, it's great to see your faces back. I'm so glad you're coming, getting some education just to improve your role in the firm. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos on legal technology talk. Because we kind of talk about everything legal technology, processes, all of that. So check out our YouTube. So today we are going to talk about from click to client and automating your marketing funnel. So this is one of my favorite topics. I love general reporting on a firm, but I love marketing stats and ROI reporting even more. So before we start, I do want to set the expectation of what this conversation is about. This is not how to market. You don't want me teaching you that. I'm not a great
Mhm.
marketer. This is instead how to use the marketing tools effectively in your CRM or subsidiary softwares that you're using. Today, we're going to talk about how Lawmatics handles that. And that's to make all of your marketing efforts quantifiable. If you want to be able to track everything that marketing effort generates and what you spend against that effort. So first, let's just talk about why should you track your marketing efforts. These might seem pretty obvious, but I think sometimes we just get so in the weeds that we lose sight of why we're doing it or why we should start doing it. The first one is just measure your ROI. That's your return on investment. That's simply how much you spent versus how much you made off of a certain marketing effort. So know exactly which campaigns are bringing in paying clients and which ones are wasting your marketing budget. The next one is identify best lead sources. Spot the marketing channels, Google Ads, referrals, social media that consistently deliver qualified leads. That is really the key. Because if you're doing something that isn't bringing in qualified leads, then you're just wasting time in the conference room. And it could be hundreds of hours a year that you're wasting because you're not tweaking your marketing to deliver qualified leads. Reporting will show you that. If you're having trouble with your marketing, actual doing your marketing, send us an email. We have some really amazing partners that we work with that we can refer you to so you can have a conversation with them to see how they could help you do that better. The next one, number three, optimize spend. This is to reallocate money and resources to the strategies that work, cutting back on unperforming strategies that aren't working. Number four is to improve client intake strategy. Understanding client behavior and adjust messaging, follow up, and conversation processes for better results. If I could go further on that, is what that's really telling you is you think you put out an amazing marketing campaign or amazing marketing ad, but when you go look at the reporting, it's not getting the results that you thought it would. It could be unclear messaging. It could be just that you're marketing to the wrong people, or it could be you're marketing in the wrong spaces. So the reporting will show you that so you can readjust your marketing, whether it's to market somewhere else or even just adjust your marketing or your messaging. Number five, support business growth. Support business growth with data. Use clear, trackable, I like to say quantifiable insights to make smarter decisions, forecast revenue, and scale with confidence. Before I go any further, Beth, you're a reporting guru. Do you have anything to add of why people should be tracking their marketing efforts?
Just to reiterate what you said, it's really important to know that that you're spending your money in the right places. And being able to see that is so important because you can make assumptions on things and you can like kind of I have a feel for where all these people are coming from, but that may not be accurate. So really tracking that is very important. And we see that all the time when people get a report and they're like, well, that can't be right. Well, it is. But you just haven't looked at that before. And that's really where the reporting comes in, and really being able to look at that and know with confidence that is what is happening, and that's where everything's coming from. We're spending our money correctly and getting results from those spends.
Yep, exactly. It all dials down to stop wasting money.
Correct.
And reporting is going to let you do that. Obviously, the goal of marketing is to gain clients. That's obvious. To gain leads. Sometimes it's simply for brand awareness, but that still means you're marketing to gain leads. Um, this is really dialing in. Stop wasting money in spots that are not getting you money in return. So let's start and dive in with this topic. And I want to start with, what can Lawmatics do with marketing? Um, and I want you to kind of um, look at the CRM that you're using currently, whether it's Lawmatics or not. And I challenge you just to say, does my CRM do this? How are we accomplishing this? And yes, I am going to say, can Lawmatics do this better than what we're doing now? Because the whole idea of working in a law firm is efficiency and excellent customer service. And we feel that Lawmatics can handle that the best of the CRMs on the market right now, unless you go and have something custom built, which can be in the millions of dollars. So I assume you haven't done that. Um, so first, it can replace your Mailchimp or ActiveCampaign or any email blast system that you use. It can fully replace that. And frankly, it does it better because it's integrated with your CRM. So there's no moving around lists. Oh, this person hired us. We need to go in ActiveCampaign or Mailchimp or something. Now we need to put them in a different list, and a different list, and a different list. You can automate some of that through Zapier, but it's very complicated. Lawmatics can all handle that internally, and it's native, so it's not even a workaround. It can replace your texting software as well, whatever you're using for texting. Why do I bring that up in a marketing reporting meeting or conversation? Because texting is a huge tool when you're marketing, and how you're able to track that as well with your text marketing campaigns. It can track your ROI, return on investment, for any marketing effort that you tell it to track. And it can also do ongoing drip campaigns. Yes, newsletters as well, but specialized drip campaigns based on the ads they find you from. All right. Before I start into the demo, Beth, do you have anything
Mhm.
to add with what Lawmatics can do natively with marketing and tracking?
No, I don't. I will
Okay,
after your demo though.
perfect. All right. So I'm going to start with the email blast side of Lawmatics, and I'm going to show you what it can do. And then I'm going to give you a little fun one with it. So let me share my screen. Okay. So, oops, I'm going to actually stop my share for a sec. I opened all my windows except Lawmatics. So let me open that real quick. And we'll get into our toy sandbox. And I apologize. I thought I was prepared, but you always miss that one thing. All right. Here we go. Perfect. And let's get into our sandbox. Here we go. Now we're all set. So now I'll share my screen again. There we go. All right. Come on over. So the email blast system, they made it very simple, yet very, very powerful. They have your emails. And now what's amazing is you can actually put them in folders, which is even better. So you can organize them. I have a folder called Open Coaching, and that's where I put all my open coaching emails that I'm going to send out. Um, I have one for demos because that's what I'm going to demo for you today. But let's say you want to create a new one. just like ActiveCampaign or Mailchimp or any of the ones that you might use, you can simply create the email here. You can create a plain text email, which is just like an email out of Google or Outlook, or you can create an HTML email. And is what that means. That's going to look more familiar to ActiveCampaign or Mailchimp. So you can choose little templates, things like that. They're not the best templates, but it doesn't matter because personally, I just go demolish them anyways and start from scratch. But you can create all of your email here. You can name your email, have your powerful subject line, your really effective pre-headers, put them in folders, choose, do you want it to go to the person that is the client of the matter, or do you want to send it to specific contacts in your system? So already you're dialing into your system. You're not working through Mailchimp or something when your entire CRM is really where all the effective or the valuable information is of what client status is. You can do promotional emails or you can do client emails. It definitely lets you do that. It has the unsubscribe button, just like all of the other ones. So you're not losing anything coming over. You build your emails, you can see all your templates that you can build out. It's very, very similar. You can put your videos, you can build your own HTML email, images. So that should all look very familiar. Once you've built your email, then they have audiences. Audiences is the exact same thing as lists that you would see in your other platforms. The terms mean the same, but they call them audiences here. And I think it's much more relevant to call them audiences in this scenario. Because is what you do, and this is what makes audiences different from lists. If you want to say, I only want to market to potential new clients for this blast that I'm making, who scheduled, well, let's say who didn't attend a workshop or a consultation. These are people that reached out to us but haven't done anything. So I'm just going to simply come in here and now start building my filters because I'm actually in my own CRM. I don't know if we have anything in workshop in here. Beth, I'm not the best at building these out. I'm going to say workshop date has no value, so they did not attend a workshop. And then I'm also going to say, I don't remember what we call consultation.
It's
Initial
that.
consultation date is also has no value. I just found everybody that reached out to us that has not moved forward with anything. I click save, and now I have my audience. That's who I want to send this specialized group to. I didn't have to go and say, okay, I want to do this, but I need a couple hours because I need to go clean up my lists. If you are working in Mailchimp or something, I'm sure you're very familiar with that. Oh, we can't send this out yet. Our lists aren't up to date. This is always up to date. It's dynamic versus static. It will always be up to date. When somebody schedules a consultation, they're going to drop out of this list because they no longer meet those criteria. When somebody else meets those criteria, they'll come in. So you can have the confidence that when you're using one of these lists, they are always accurate as long as you're moving people properly within your system. And then the last one is campaigns. This is how you send out your email blast. You name it, and then you choose your audience. Where was the one we just built? Right here. You choose the email that you want to send to them that you built. So I don't know, maybe it's consultation two. That was your email. You choose who you want it to come from. If you want to put attachments, you can absolutely put attachments and you can add your signature if you want. That's all pretty basic. Now, is what this allows is I can send it right now. As soon as I hit create, I'm going to click and then I'm just going to send it. You can also schedule it so you're not losing that feature by coming over to Lawmatics. It's very common. Schedule when you want it to send. Another one that they have is repeating. The best example I can say for this one, this is going to send the exact same email on a schedule that you tell it. We have some hourly clients, and I want to make sure that we stay in touch with them. So on the first or something like that of every month, it just sends out an email that just says touching base. Do you have any projects you need assistance with or questions? So I'm just reaching out. It is the same email, but I'm using that on a repeating schedule because I do want to make sure that I'm reaching out to our clients. Date based. The best example for this is birthday cards. So I'm going to choose birth date and when do you want it to run on their birthdays? I'm going to say 7 a.m. And in here, you might have saw me scroll past it, but I did build a birthday card. And then as long as you say when that's their birthday, you say create. It is now every time a contact has a birthday, it's going to send that birthday card to them. I recommend that you change the card once a year. So it's not the same card every year. Um, but now you have your birthday cards. And I did send one to myself, and it is, where did that go, Beth?
I have no idea.
Whoops, there we go. I'm going to show you the one that I sent to myself. Oh, here it is. All right, so it's very simple. I put some codes in there. Happy birthday, John. We hope your day is filled with laughter, joy, and maybe a little cake or a lot, so you can make it fun. Warm wishes from all of us at. And we just put a company name in. We always code everything because this is a really good thing for efficiency and marketing. If you ever change your name, you want your system to be as simple as possible to change your name. So we didn't type Ettinger Tech. We used a code for this. So if we ever change our name, we only have to change it in one spot and all the codes will just start doing that. And then I just put a little GIF. I'm not getting in the debate on that right now. But I just put that in there. I just wanted to build something super simple, even in the subject line, which is really powerful marketing. I just coded their first name. So this is really easy way to stay in touch. Another thing you can use that for is 1 year after somebody passes away, you can send a date of death card, just honoring that person. So that's really powerful in these three options that it lets you do. And then the other thing it does is you don't lose your tracking. So this campaign was sent. Here I can see I've sent it 7 times. Here's my open rate. But if I click it, you're going to see a little more. You're going to see the number of sends, unique opens, bounces. You're going to see who opened it, who it bounced, who clicked it. So really, you're getting that same information that you would get in Mailchimp, ActiveCampaign, whatever you're using. So this is how it replaces each of those email blast systems to be very simple, very effective. It does drip campaigns. That would be done through automations, but you would build your emails. When somebody meets a criteria, it's going to start a drip campaign. You could have a 2-week drip campaign or a 10-year drip campaign. It depends on how energetic you are to write that many emails. But you can absolutely do that. And you can dial it in based on their service area. If they've been a client before, you can make drip campaigns for whatever criteria that you want. All right, so that is the email blast system. Do you have anything quick to add to this one, Beth?
Not really. This is you can use this for so many things and it can take so much pressure off for you. Like you can have all of your monthly newsletters ready to go and have them scheduled in there and you don't have to worry about it. And that really gives you a lot of frees up a lot of brain space. That's what I'm mostly focusing on is like um, freeing up some brain space where you're working on other things. You can have this set up and ready to go, and you don't need to think about that as that day approaches. And you don't have to worry, did everybody get added to the list? It doesn't matter. They're already there already. And it's very easy to control. The only thing I do want to, and if you said this already, John, and I missed it, I don't know, um, the difference between a marketing email and a non-marketing email.
Yeah,
And
I touched on it with the promotional versus non-promotional, but yeah, please expand on that.
yeah, so you need to be very careful with that and the difference between that. When you have a relationship with somebody, so somebody contacts you and they go in and yep. Oh,
I'm just going to open one
yeah,
that's
yeah, show
already
where it's
here.
at. So when you go
It's
into
right here.
there and somebody contacts you, they come to a workshop or they register for a workshop, an email going to them to or a consultation, anything really, an email going to them to verify and to um, remind
Remind.
them of that, any of those type of things. Those are not promotional. And so because you already have a relationship with them, follow-up emails afterwards, there's some kind of controversy about whether those are promotional or not. Um, Normally we say those are not because you already have a relationship with that person and you're doing those things, where something like your newsletter or an email blast for, something that you have coming up, a special that you're running or whatever, those types of things, promotional, and they can opt out of those. So it's really what's in a relationship and what is kind of general going to everybody. You're trying to get somebody back in. So it's really important to know the difference to those and to know what your state laws are on those. So, because some states are very strict on that, and it's very you really need to walk a fine line with that and know what your state laws are. We're not going to know that, so when we're setting your stuff up, we don't know. But you really need to look into that and say, hey, is this a promotional email? If somebody's opted out, we want them out of that. And if they've opted out, the other thing with marketing, and going through the art marketing for the email sends is, if they've opted out, it's they're not even in that list anymore. They don't show up. So that takes care of all of that with you as well.
Yeah, and I do want to take, look at your state laws, but it's also governed by federal laws of
Yes.
your cold emails, unsolicited emails. Just be careful because if somebody does actually report you and it gets serious and they push it, I don't see it happening really. But please know that there are laws around this. It can get very expensive in the thousands of dollars just for one email per person. So just be aware of what you're sending. Don't just go online and pick a list of emails. Um, I know that's tempting, but just be very, very careful in your promotional style emailing. So that is our warning on that. I'm not going to tell you your laws. You need to go look them up. You are law
Yeah.
firms. So you have great research skills. Now, before I get into some of the cool bells and whistles that you can do with this, I will show you in some of the settings of what this does with marketing. So, marketing sources, you build this out. You have sources, which are your umbrellas, and then you have the campaigns under each source. And you can build this out. And I always, when clients hire us, we have a worksheet that they fill out because it guides them into doing it properly. So, this isn't just willy nilly in how you set this up because you can't just think about, oh, we have this campaign, put them in, put them in. You have to think about what data you want out for reporting as well. So it's kind of a two-tiered thought process when you're building this out. But as what this allows you to do is very simply, let's say Avo, you can go and say, every month I spend $45 for premium Avo. And September, we just paid that. I'm going to put that in. That now goes against your spend to calculate a proper ROI versus what you've spent versus what you're making on that. So the tracking is very easy. I want to address it in referrals as well. This puts all your referrals in here so you can quickly see that. And then through other methods, we can dial them in if they're a professional referral or not. But they all do come in here automatically. And you can do the same thing. I took Michael Scott out to lunch. The lunch was $67.97. We did that on the 3rd of last month or of this month. I hit save. Now, any referrals he gives me, I get an ROI on that. So I can really see the effectiveness of where I'm putting my marketing money, even in whining and dining people that we think are giving us qualified leads, but reporting might show they're not because nobody is signing with you. So the tracking is very, very easy to use, set up, and maintain. It does have, when I click on, let's go to a new campaign. This does allow you to put UTM campaigns in. I'm not going to get deep into this. If you know what they are, awesome. If you don't, I just kind of want you to know what they do. Um, you can create UTM links, which are you click an ad, you have the UTM link that it clicks on that can take you to a landing page, and I'm going to demo this. Um, and it can capture where that lead came from. But more importantly, within Lawmatics is what UTM links allow you to do is do things like within an email. You can track which links people are clicking and which ones they're not. And you can actually track the clicks within an email and you can see which matter. I can go say John Doe clicked this specific link and I can run reports on clicks as well. So again, I'm not going to get deep into UTM codes, but you can absolutely use them in here. You can create pixels. Um, I'm not going to get into a lot of the technicalities of these different marketing techniques, but you can build a pixel in here that you can put on your Facebook ad or wherever to do the tracking. This will link with Google Ads as well, so you can track those. Tracking, you can put different landing pages, home pages in here that then effectively track different things that they're doing within those pages. This is not Google Analytics. It's doing it through what you're telling it to do with forms and things that you've done with Lawmatics. Um, I don't really want to get into the teaching side of the technicalities, just that it's available to you. You can build RSS feeds, you can have them come in, things like that. So those are the tools that they allow within marketing. And now I want to show you a real life example of what Lawmatics can do with you tracking marketing and not having to really stress about learning where they're from. So I'm going to go to our company Facebook. And I did this yesterday and tested it just to make sure that you guys will all see the true benefit. I posted an ad here, track your marketing lead sources inside Lawmatics. Click to see the power of tracking in action. Okay, I'm interested in that. I'm going to click that. Whoops. I am going to click that. And our website is under a little maintenance, so it's a little delayed. So I built this landing page. It is now specific to that ad. Great. Very typical marketing techniques, right? I have some fun stuff in here. Um, Now, give it a try. This is a Lawmatics form. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. And I added this top field to show you how out of the box you can really get. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to say Mr. and I'm going to say Nicholas, because I don't want to use one we've already used. Nicholas. Okay, that's his name. Now up here, I can do, they don't know what this is, but is what it's doing, it's actually creating the matter name. I tied this to the matter name. So when a matter is created in Lawmatics, they already did that for you. That's how out of the box you can get with certain things. I'm going to put in an email address. I think I did billing at. And then I'm going to put the phone number in for texting. What led you to contact us? A lot of stuff. Great. I'm going to submit that. Now, I am going to grab another page and I'm going to go into our Lawmatics because this is our live system. So I have to take it off line a little bit to bring up what it just did for you. All right. Oops. Zoom makes so many pop-up windows that you can't really do what you want to do. All right. So let me put in Nicholas. And here's Nicholas. So it created the matter. It created the contact. I can click on his contact record um, and see everything that has to do with that. Here's the details that he gave us, phone number, email, all of that. So that's done. But to tie marketing into it is what it did is it said social media, and it came from that specific ad that I told it. Because they clicked that ad, filled out the form, I can get down. And I think there's some debate on how granular you should get in marketing. Do you want to do it per ad? Do you want to just say Facebook? And that's fine. If you want to get granular, I'm going to give you a tip, and that is to name your campaigns like Facebook dash. So when reporting is developed, you can at least search Facebook and see all of your Facebook, but also see the granular. So be very intentional how you label your campaigns. But it was really that simple. They created it, and it could have gone a step further to move them to a proper step, saying, okay, now it's time to schedule your consultation. Here's how you do it, and give them a link. It can start sending a barrage or just a simple email. So I'm going to show you what it sent me. Here we go. Nicholas, thank you for checking out Lawmatics training. It went through here. Thanks for checking out Law. We saw you found us through social media. I put that right in the email because that's how they found us. It could be whatever they did. And then I can have this great email saying schedule your discovery or your consultation, download an automation case studies tool, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And then the other thing it did is uh, 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 um, Beth, I don't remember how to pause a sharing.
It's
Oh, I see
it's
it.
it's on the
Okay,
bottom.
pause.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pause the sharing because I am um, going to click out of this and open our text messaging. It just is our live internal text messaging, so I want to be careful. Um, all right, I'll swing this way over. There we go. Now I'll resume. This is the text message I just got. Here we go. Nicholas, thank you for reaching out about law. It goes through and it's just I dumbed down the text message, but it has the links to schedule a meeting. It has the links to download whatever I told them. So it's the same as an email, but you can send them the text too. That's just because they filled out that form. But the most powerful part is absolutely that it got the marketing tracking. How do I know it got the marketing tracking? Here's how. Whoops. Okay. So let me pause this. All right, this is how I know because when I go into marketing, or I'm sorry, when I go into reporting, they have an ROI tracker. I can see it live. So social media, Facebook ad, whoops, I'm sorry, it's actually this one. And I did it in our live system. I didn't do it in here. In our system, this flipped to one. There's a new lead. Your ROI is already updated because they filled out a form. You didn't have to touch anything. So that it really is the power of what Lawmatics can do in your marketing tracking, which to me surpasses so much that other CRMs are really trying to accomplish but haven't yet. The other page I want to show you, actually, let me go through this and then we'll do it. I have a marketing brain, so I'm kind of all over. All right, let's stop the share here. So in this point, it's where I want to interject. So we just talked about forms that can collect marketing information and deliver it right to your system, and you don't have to touch anything. What I want to say is when you're on the phone and you're asking how someone heard about you, you always want to get to the root of how they heard about you. So what does that mean? It means, hi, Sally, how did you hear about us? And they say, your website. Oh, awesome. That's not a true marketing um, effort. It's a place for marketing to go. So when you're asking people how they heard about you, you want how they actually heard about you. And I'm going to give you that example. because otherwise your reporting is very skewed. So when they say your website, your next question then is great. How did you hear about our website? Oh, from a Google search. Great. Google search is how they heard about you. A firm website, they didn't just look at the screen and it just showed up. You always want to tactfully dial in how they heard about you. A big one is workshops. Workshops are not how they heard about you. How did you hear about us? Your workshop. Okay, no, you didn't. You don't say it that way. Your next question is, how did you hear about our workshop? Because you put effort into advertising that workshop, you want to know which one they saw. So the only time that a workshop could be a marketing effort is if you just set up in the middle of a park and just let people walk up and you didn't advertise it and they just want to see what's going on. They would hear about you through the workshop then. I would call that more of an event. But that would be the about the only case I can think a workshop really would be how they heard about you. Otherwise, how did they hear about the workshop? This is going to dial in your marketing numbers more accurately. Your firm spends money on marketing. You better know where that money is going and what it is generating.
And the
All right,
difference, John, between
go
those
ahead.
two, a really easy way to differentiate between those two is that a workshop, which is a part of the process and not marketing, is where you're getting information from them ahead of time. They're registering for that event ahead of time. How you're reaching them to get that registration, that is the marketing. Where if you have, let's just say that a church says, "Hey, come over and do a presentation for our congregation." You go over there and you do that. That is a marketing that you don't get everybody's information ahead of time. They can give it to you afterwards. So if you're collecting it ahead of time, it's part of your process. If you're not collecting it ahead of time, it's marketing.
Yep, that's a really great distinction. Um, if you still choose to say they heard about us through a workshop or they heard about us through the website, that's fine. Do what you're doing. But I'm going to tell you right now, your numbers are not accurate in what you're generating from paid or even unpaid marketing campaigns because you're not seeing what's really going against that. So just be very aware of that. Um, all right. So another tool that you can use how you click the ad and went to the landing page I showed you. Well, on your website, you can build things as lead magnets. You can say, get this free guide by filling out this form. They fill out that form. It's going to go into Lawmatics, create a matter. It's going to create some follow ups or drip campaigns, whatever you set it up to do. And it's going to email them that guide. You didn't have to touch it. And then you can create systems in there where you can run reports on how effective is your guide in generating clients through that lead magnet. So you can absolutely do reporting on that. So again, anything you're doing to gain clients, you really need to consider how can you make it quantifiable? Because if you can't, then really that's when you're just throwing money at the wind. And that's a dangerous way to run your marketing program. So just be very intentional, very focused, and very, very pointed in not just saying your marketing team's going to send out a whole bunch of stuff, but it should be a team meeting where you say, okay, what can we build in Lawmatics to support that before it goes out? Because once it goes out, you've opened the jar. It's really hard to go back and fix that. Get it in place before you send out the campaigns. Um, we can absolutely help you with any of this. You can set up a discovery meeting with us. I think Beth has that link she's going to put in the chat. Whether you're a client, if you're a client of ours, ask us if you're interested in something like this. If you're not a client, set up a discovery and see how we can help you. Because even if you're not using Lawmatics, you've been asking yourself, hopefully, as we talked about in the beginning, can Lawmatics do this better? So, Beth, you're going to talk about another tool in Lawmatics for an integration of call rail.
Correct. Yeah. So call rail is it is a way that you can track where people are coming from when they're calling into you. And if you are a firm that is directing a lot of people to call you, as opposed to using a lot of all online forums and things like that, you want people to actually call, or that is your focus. It is very easy to do that. And what that does, and let me share my screen here. Um, in your marketing setup in here, all of these, we have this information, and we have our spend frequency, and this is how it normally is. When you integrate CallRail, you get another option, and you get this. And I'm sorry, I had to take a screenshot of this because we do not use CallRail for us. So I had to take it out of somebody, it's somebody that does. So we actually have the information. So in this marketing source, you can put the CallRail tracking number. So that in CallRail, it gives you different tracking numbers. So you would have a different phone number that would go on like a Facebook ad, and your Google ad would have a different number, and your like all of these things would have different numbers that they would call, and then you would match up what is that tracking number and then what is that source. So when they come in, when they call right off the bat, it will line it up and said, it's from here. This is where they come from. You don't need to then ask them the question, how did you hear about us? Because you already have it. You already know that. So that takes that out of that intake process. Um, and it is very helpful with that. It automates that whole thing when you have someone calling in. Yeah, and that's all it is. It's pretty direct, pretty straightforward. You can have it so that if someone calls in and they don't have, and there's no matter to match it up to, that it can create that matter. I don't recommend that, because you really want to be collecting other information than what it's going to directly put in there. And it also, when they call again, so if you have a client who's been a client for, I don't know, 6 months, and they call you, it will log that call in their matter. So it does both parts of it. It tracks your marketing and it also logs calls. And it can log them all in the matter, so you have a record of all those phone calls in the matter as well, just like it does with Ring Central and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of a quick overview of what it is, and it is very intuitive, and it's easy to set up. It's not very difficult, and it gives you a lot of good information for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go into Q&A.
Mhm.
Um, Again, in the chat, there is a link for our discovery meeting that you can schedule with us. It's free, of course. Just a 30-minute. We'll just hear what you're struggling with, pain points, casualties of the firm, successes, and really what your wish list is. And we'll see how we can assist you. So feel free to schedule that discovery meeting. Um, but I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and we're going to go into open Q&A.